Hello the interwebs and YouTubers. This is Digitars out of Dresden in Germany, and on the bench today we have... Yes, it's a Jaguar, a Squier from 2018, and it's pretty new looking. There's no dings and bangs on it. However, the setup is all wrong. These bridge saddles are all way too low, and this one is so low that it's actually catching. Right here, this saddle is so low, it's actually catching on the metal part there. So these guys all need to come way up. You can see that the high strings are all ditched way down. And actually all the string action is way too low. Measured it something like nothing here. Doesn't go at all. And it's about 1 millimetre there, should be about 1.5 millimetres at least, if not 2. Action here looks good on the first fret, not going to play with that. The neck relief actually looks pretty good. I thought it was a bit too straight, but actually it measures about 0.025 millimeters, so that's good. So all we need to do should be some simple setup here. First, I'm going to have to start dealing with this end and make that nice. Shouldn't have to adjust the height of the individual saddles really, should be able to get them right and then just use the two outside. Should be able to just use those two outside level adjustments there to get the action here right. But these are all screwed up, so I'm going to have to reset them all to the neck radius. Okay, off we go. Maybe we'll even play it. So the setup went fine. Truss rod works, but there's a bit of a problem down here. The brake angle over the bridge is too small, and that's causing the bridge to actually rattle when the strings are... That rattling noise is actually in the bridge. So what we need to do is make this angle higher right here, so there's more down pressure on the bridge, and that means that we're going to need to shim the neck up so we can also raise the bridge up such that the action here will still be correct. Also, we noticed that the pickups don't adjust very well. They might need some more foam underneath them, not being sprung well enough. Other than that, everything looks okay. Slightly sharp fret ends, I might just give those a little round over so they're not quite as spiky, but they're not too bad. And it's going to get some new strings, those guys right there. And so while we're at it with the strings off, we'll give the fretboard some oil because it's looking pretty thirsty. So to get the pickup out and have a look, the pick guard has to come off obviously, and this control cavity has to be opened up because the pickup wires were way too short and I couldn't even get this guy up and out at all. But what we have now, the bubble wrap there, just to lift up the pickup a bit higher, because by the time I shim the neck and raise up the bridge, then these were definitely not going to reach high enough. They pretty much already didn't. So this little foamy shim underneath there, and also one under here, will allow the pickups to reach the appropriate height. I have a little problem with the hole for this, the wood. Well, it's basically wrecked, so I think we're going to just fill it up with a toothpick and re-drill it. And that way the plate's going to sit nicely against the pick guard, because right now it's all of a flop on this end. That's no good, and the screws all in sideways. So we'll just fix that. So now we know why this hole right here was wrecked. Screw hole for this hole, because this body's not really routed out far enough, and the wires coming from the pickups and so on are crashing into this potentiometer right here. So there's not enough room, and when this pick guard goes down, when this control plate goes in, it just wants to push everything back away from the pick guard like that. So there's a big gap between the pick guard and the control plate, and this is sticking out the back here. But I'm not going to start re-engineering this this guitar body. I'd have to remove material from here to give these wires chance to sit further back. Not going to do that, so it's just going to have a gap. Not as pretty as it should be, but not my fault. Now we have the neck off. See, it's kind of full of dust and buffing compound and stuff, so I'll clean that out a bit. Here's my shim. It's a 0.6 millimeter thick piece of mahogany, according to the fancy vintage Italian calipers, which my dad sourced for me from a friend. Bit of dust and gunk on the back of their neck as well. Some kind of funny lumpy bumpy varnish going on. I don't know what that round thing's for. Is that a sticker? No. Anyway. So, in goes the shim. To there. Leg back in. Screws back through the shim and then should tighten all down. Give me a little bit bigger brake angle off the neck. So I can raise up the bridge. Which goes in here. And everything should be hunky-dory, giving me better tension. So this bridge shouldn't rattle anymore. Let's see if it works. A little problem we found here, the top ply of the pig guard was peeling up, so I glued that back down again, cleaned up a little, and now it's just to make these sharp fret ends a little smoother. We're going to use the fret file for that. So this has these nice, I guess it's diamond, so I just have to choose the right size one, just to round off the edges of the frets there a little, just so that these corners aren't quite as scratchy. Then we can put some oil on the fretboard, it'll look beautiful. Put the bridge back in, get the strings on, see if it flies. Your strings are on, everything's set up, neck relief is great, 0.25 millimeters, and string height is great on both sides, but got a better brake angle here now, should be more pressure on the bridge, still rattling a little bit. So it's better than it was, but maybe there's something else I can do to decrease that. But shiny frets, nice nourished fretboard, new strings, all looking good. Can I fix the rest of the rattle? Def Leppard, Hysteria. Going into the Hall of Fame, they say. Jolly good, I say. Back to the Jaguar. Well, apparently Jaguar bridges are quite rattly. What do we do about that? Well, apparently what we could do, what I didn't do, is maybe put some thread lock on the offending rattly screws. Indeed, when the guitar went back to its owner, he still complained of rattliness. Not as bad as it was. Solutions suggested by the Dave's World of Fun Stuff Facebook group are change the bridge for a better bridge, or jam some gummy stuff into the threads so stuff doesn't rattle. So maybe that'll be another topic for another video. But that's what we know. Thanks for watching, and next time there'll be something else. Have a good time. Farewell.